What's up, guys? My name is Jalen Hill, reporter for Q City Metro, and today I'm here with Darren, Big Baby Brand. How you doing today, man?
Aggie Pride, brother. Aggie Pride. I'm doing blessed. Man. Blessed.
We started off early, man. I told Darren I'm with the Central, so we already talking trash to each other. So he already starting.
But you know what, though? In all honesty, it's a good rivalry because behind sports, A&T and Central are very, very close universities. You know what I'm saying? Most of our Greeks affiliate with each other. Most of the students affiliate, grad departments. A lot of people who go to grad from A&T was undergrad Central. A lot of people who was undergrad A&T, grad Central. So that's a lot of relationships. I will say that.
It's all love too, regardless. It's some beef, right, but it's all love, man.
It's all love.
Yeah, it's all love. But here with you, the Big Baby Brand, actor, comedian, YouTube show host, podcaster. Mm-hmm. I made many accolades, many talents. And so you're a big ambassador for A&T.
Yes.
You're from Southern Pines.
Right.
Which is, my research was like 11 minutes closer to Durham than it is to A&T, to Greensboro.
Yeah.
So tell me, how did you make the decision to go to A&T?
Man, okay, boom. All right, so you know when a black person say, okay, boom, it's gonna be good. Now, I really didn't know, coming from Southern Pines, small town, I didn't know much about HBCUs. You know what I'm saying? It's not a lot of HBCU influence, I would say, in smaller towns, unless you know someone directly who went there. Because most people go to HBCUs, you know, we kind of catapult to other things. We don't necessarily go back home. So there was nobody coming back home to let us know. And I was one of the smarter African Americans at the time in high school. So, you know, back then, if you were smart and black, they wanted you. You know what I'm saying? It was a real big thing. So I got a lot of offers and scholarships, but A&T gave me a full ride. Central was on my list. You know what I'm saying? I had an aunt who lived in Durham, so that made sense financially, just in case, you know, I needed help or anything. So, but I also had a first cousin, and we all know first cousin's like your first sibling. She was a rising junior or senior at A&T. And that played a lot. You know what I'm saying? Having your older cousin, like your older sister there, being able to help you navigate. And man, coming from a small town, the first time I went to my orientation, I stepped outside my mama's car. And you know, I'm from the country. My mama made me dress up for orientation. You know what I'm saying? Everybody else had on the Jordans and basketball shorts. I was in khakis. And and to step out the car and see that many black people who want to further their education, which is something you don't see in small towns, it won me over from that moment. So any other school I went to after that, it was because A&T was first. I saw all these beautiful black people, and I'm talking about, you know, with the Central, black people from everywhere. You know, HBCUs have every type of black person you can have, and we're a very diverse group of people.
We are.
And it was a beautiful experience, man. I say it all the time, you know, whatever HBCU you pick is for you, but I know for a fact A&T saved my life.
Who was Darren Brand at A&T? Tell me about who that was.
Man, a young guy, a young man trying to figure it out, constantly making mistakes, you know, living life to the fullest, but broke. I don't know how. We had so much fun in college with no money, but we made a way. You know, life with a party, hosted everything, in the mix. I was vice president of external affairs. I held positions. I was in Couture Productions. I was in Model Troop. I was a campus life mentor. Man, I really lived out my full college experience. Like, I was the guy everybody knew. Either you loved me or you hated me. And thank God, a whole lot more people loved me than hated me.
And so you said you're from a small town, and I can attest to that myself because I'm from a small town as well, Rocky Mount, North Carolina.
I know about Rocky Mount, 2-5.
2-5.
Yeah,
so,
yeah.
With coming from a small town, going to a bigger city, you know, sometimes you can get overwhelmed and, you know, try to, you know, do too much too soon. Was that a thing for you, coming from a small town?
No, I didn't try to do too much too soon. I think I just kind of stayed in my lane. That is a culture shock. I think when you come from a small town where your parents are very involved, where you're at, what you're doing, to complete freedom, you know what I'm saying? I think that's a lot on anybody. But I think I coming from a small town, I was willing to do whatever it was that was going to keep me at A&T. You know what I'm saying? I did not want to go back home. I did not want to be one of the folks that didn't finish, come back home, back working at the closest restaurant or whatever, everybody else, back getting into some trouble, not doing right. And I think that's what kept me, because when you come from a small town, you don't have the same resources. You know, you may come from a troubled home. And so college is like a fresh start.
Yeah.
It's a new beginning. You know what I'm saying? And so I think I was willing to do whatever it was to make sure I didn't go back home.
What was your fondest memory of the Aggie Eagle Classic? I know this big game, Central A&T. It's always beef, it's always trash talking. What is your, as a student, we're going to go to alumni next, as an alum next, but as a student? Yes, your fondest memory.
I kind of don't remember student, man. I'm back in the day. And, you know, we took a break from playing for a while back in the day. So I can't really remember my student one unless I'm getting them mixed up. But I do, was that an alumni one? And now there might have been a student, man. It was one year y'all beat us and y'all rushed the field. And this was at home in Greensboro. And y'all stomped on the logo in the football stadium.
Man,
and security had to run out there and spray everything. Like it was a slight brawl. And I know you ain't supposed to like that, but at that time, man, when you young and you whatever, man, we don't care about Central. That was a geek moment, and that shows real rivalry. You know what I'm saying? Like y'all was so hyped to beat us, y'all ran back on the field and stomped on the Aggie dog on the logo at the 50-yard line.
It's real beef. Like people.
That says a lot about your school. That says a lot about integrity and where y'all stand.
Man, it's real deep though, because people don't realize that. As far people said, somebody told me this before. It's like the Duke and UNC HBCUs, North Carolina.
It is.
The rivalry is big.
I would say that Aggie Eagle is the second biggest rivalry in North Carolina amongst college sports. I give it to Carolina and Duke, you know what I'm saying? But we're right after that. I don't think there's no other. I mean, you got Shaw and St. Aug, but they're not as big as a rivalry as we are that brings people traveling from everywhere. You got Livingstone and Winston. I think Fayetteville State and Winston have one. They kind of like a situation that kind of changes every year or so. Mm-hmm. But there's nobody compete. I mean, even State in Carolina is not even a real rivalry. It's Duke in Carolina. You know what I'm saying? ECU and State try to have one. That's not real. Ours is real. And the dope thing about this is our 100th year.
100.
100. A lot of people don't know that. Like, a lot of rivalries don't make it to 100 games. This is our 100th game, man.
It's a lot of history, man. I don't know if you know, but in 1950, when they played at Wallace Wade Stadium in Duke, and they said a man drove his Pontiac onto the field, and it was a maroon Pontiac, had a maroon suit on. You know, he went to Central. And so, like, seeing something like that, you know, even go back to the 50s, man, the rivalry is deep. It's deep.
Man, think about the OG players with the fros and the Aggie sweaters and the Central sweaters and the Lettermans and hot, man, it's a beautiful thing, man. It's a beautiful thing.
It's beautiful, man. And the fact that it has come this far over the years, it hasn't changed. It's still deep. It's still powerful. That shows you, like, the two schools, like, education, athletics, they go hand in hand with each other. It's always competition.
It's the history. It's the history, man. We have a lot of history, bro. We have a lot of history. And I'm talking about from doorstep to doorstep, maybe 40 minutes on the highway. Maybe. And that's pushing it.
That's pushing it. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So, I don't know, man. I'm excited for this week. I'm excited for the game. Man, it's anytime A&T and Central plays each other, it gives homecoming vibes. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not going to lie. I love playing. One of my favorite games in football is when we play y'all at Central. You know what I'm saying? You know why? Because Central, the football stadium's a little bit smaller. The track's a little bit smaller. And we're all in this one space. All that energy, all that rock. And I'm talking about, because of who I am, I get talked to crazy all the time when I come on Central. Like, man, what you doing here, man? But at the end of the day, you want a picture. You know what I'm saying? So it's love, man. It's love. It's love.
You have been a big ambassador for your school since you graduated.
Right.
So I guess as an alum, who has been your favorite classic?
My favorite classic. Man, I said it one right before COVID. You know what I'm saying? Like, it was a point in time, man. I think for like 2 or 3 games, y'all didn't score.
Yeah.
So, they were putting up memes where the score was like 85-0, or like, you know what I'm saying? And that was like, man, it ain't even a robbery, but it still is. but there was just one point where our football program just kind of catapulted.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And I think that was one, man. That 2019 one in that fall, that was crazy. You know what I'm saying? A lot of love. Shouts out to Double J. Every time it's on y'all yard, that's my dog. You know what I'm saying? A lot of energy. And then I'm telling you, when it's not, I think 2019 was essential. But when it's at A&T, it's not the same. It's like almost we're too big.
It's spaced out, yeah.
It's spaced out, you know what I'm saying? But when you at Central, man, everybody's in that bowl. Everybody's on that track, all the tailgates. Because you can go from the parking deck to the game in a 7-minute walk.
Yeah.
And there's literally 20,000 people between that 7-minute walk. You know what I'm saying? So like I said, anytime we at Central, man, I love it when it says Central. And y'all rowdy, man. One year y'all beat us, man. Y'all came on the field. This was at y'all house. Y'all came on the field with stuffed dogs and was kicking them in the air. I said, how crazy. It's Central. Like, nobody at A&T's prepared for that. Like, we don't have stuffed eagles ready to kick around, but y'all beat us and y'all was kicking them on the field. Get out of here. Man, but you can't do that when you lose, but all right, y'all right. Y'all right.
Being in Charlotte, how do you feel this game would be being in this big of a stadium?
I think it's going to shock people. And I think we've proven that already because, at first a lot of people don't know the game was at 1:00. And everybody know college football, your 1:00 noon games are not as the big games as they look at it. And then the game, all of a sudden, when they released it, 2 weeks later, got moved to 7:30. That says a lot. That says we're buying tickets. That says we're bringing money. That says people are coming in town. That says the city's going to be jumping. And I think Charlotte is a very neutral place to have it. You know what I'm saying? For some reason, there's a lot of alums between both schools, between Charlotte and Atlanta. That whole 85 fight, Atlanta, Raleigh, Durham, Greensboro, there's a whole lot of alum between both schools. And I think it's going to bring a lot of money to the city. I think it's going to bring a lot of awareness to the city for people who may not know about HBCU culture. I'm excited for the bands to have a chance to perform in the Bank of America, both bands. I think it's nothing but positive.
This is a very big game for, Central and A&T, but how important is it for HBCUs as a whole? Like being on not just at the bank, but being on national television?
Huge, man. Like, if I could be honest, man, it hurt me watching the Celebration Bowl last year and A&T weren't there. You know what I'm saying? We had got used to going to Celebration Bowl. So, we changed conferences. And I'm just sitting here thinking, like, how crazy it would have been if it was Jackson State versus A&T.
Two powerhouses.
Dion versus us. You know what I'm saying? And you know how Dion had all the celebs on his side? I would have been on A&T's side, like, come on, Prime. And I know Prime. He follows me and everything. He loves comedy. He shows a lot of love. But that would have been a super dope moment. And I'm super proud of South Carolina State for doing what they did at Celebration Bowl. Because Dion has brought so much just awareness to HBCUs at Jackson State that it was crazy how South Carolina State got overshadowed. You know what I'm saying? Nobody was talking about them at the game. And you know what they did for themselves on the third most watched HBCU, not HBCU, but third most watched bowl game, including the national championship. They went on national TV. They showed up, they showed out, and they took down the powerhouse of Deion Sanders. And that forever changed South Carolina State football program.
What do you think the next step needs to be made for HBCUs to earn that respect?
NFL players who come from it, coming back. NFL players who are familiar with it. NFL coaches, staff who are familiar with it, coming back. That's all it takes, man. When you get to that place, like, if you think about it, bro, I am I'm in that era of social media comics, but I do stand up for real. I host, I've done the BET Awards. I just shot a Kraft Cheese commercial. I'm about to do a Target commercial, completely blessed. But one thing you know about me, I'm always going to rep A&T. And I feel like everybody, if you're in that light, you got to rep your HBCU. You should never get too big to the point where you forget where you come from.
But you've hosted events for a number of HBCUs, and you've become somewhat of an ambassador for HBCU culture.
Right.
And so what does that mean for you? Being so, like you said, you got to be proud of being Black and being an HBCU. What does that mean for you to be that staple that people can see?
And I love it. I love it, bro. At one point, I called myself HBCU King of Comedy. I actually got flagged by Walter Latham because like he said I was copyrighting Kings of Comedy or whatever, but you know, I get it. But I'm proud, bro. Like, not many comics and hosts and people can say this, but I've performed at 90% of all HBCUs in some way, shape, or form. Whether it was Welcome Week, Homecoming, or Spring Fest. I've done 90%, bro. I'm only missing like 4 or 5. I'm missing Howard. I can tell you, Howard, Xavier. I did Xavier online, but that don't count. Howard, Xavier, Wilberforce, Cheney, and it's one more. It's like Paul Mitchell in Dallas, something like that. Paul something. There's something in Dallas. Not Dallas, but it's something in Texas I'm missing. It's a real small one in Texas. And man, I've done 90% of them, man. I've experienced them all. And you know, we're all the same, but we're totally different. Prairie View in Texas, that rivalry, Prairie View, Texas Southern, well, that's a whole new ball game. That's a whole, like, don't get me wrong, Central A&T, our homecomings, yeah, they fun. But when you get a chance to travel and perform with these other HBCUs, man, they amazing, bro. Bethune versus FAMU. Tennessee versus Jackson. You know what I'm saying? Like Hampton versus Howard. There are some rivalries, some games, some homecomings that are insane, bro. And it means the world to me that, you know, I can be anywhere. Somebody be like, man, you came to my school. No matter what school. Lincoln, Pennsylvania. Oh yeah, HBCU. Like Harris Stowe, Steve Austin. Man, I've done 90% of all HBCUs. Mississippi Valley State, Alabama State, Alabama A&M, Albany State, Alcorn. I've done them all, bro, and I've felt that love and that energy because no matter where you at, we're the same. We all got an issue with administration from time to time. We all broke. All HBCUs don't have no parking. Every single one. As big as A&T is, we still ain't got no parking. You know what I'm saying? Dorms, co-ed dorms. We all got co-ed dorms now. At one point, that was a thing of the past, and it's beautiful, bro. It's beautiful to see that many Black people on these campuses that's making a change for their life.
So tell us about some of the events that you're hosting this weekend.
We got the Aggie Eagle Shot Fest. I don't know. A&T and Central, we party. We're gonna take some shots at midnight. The get ready for the game. I got Nothing But Anthems day party before the game. It's gonna give you a gym jam vibe. It's gonna be music back from when we was in undergrad, and it's gonna be a reunion, man. It's gonna be a reunion, bro. And then the game Saturday. Then I got a couple of brunches after HBCU brunch. I'm hosting at the park in Charlotte. Vendors, food, merch, just the whole HBCU collective. Then I have dope brunch with TJ. He's a Central alum. And it's just something we've been building that we actually going to take on the road and just kind of take it to major Black cities and tap into that HBCU culture, like maybe in Atlanta, maybe in DC. And man, we're going to have a good time, man. We're going to have a good weekend. I'm going to party out, you know. I'm going to sip a little something. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to host a little something, you know what I mean? So, yeah, man, full weekend ahead. And of course, I'm going to be at the game, you know, talking junk or whatever. Anybody I see with a Central shirt on gonna get the smoke this weekend. You know what I'm saying?
Any projects and events that you got coming up soon that we should know about?
I got a Target commercial I'm coming up. I'm about to shoot. Just shot a Kraft Cheese commercial. I'm on tour starting September 24th. Be on the lookout for that. The Real Talk Comedy Tour. Me, D. Ray Davis, Ricky Smiley, B. Simone, Just Hilarious, Moneybag Mafia, my dog Black Ron. We got arenas and theaters. I'm telling y'all, this tour is a problem. And it has a few new faces because you done seen all the OGs before a million times. So now this is an opportunity for us to get in there and shine, man. So that's really what I'm focused on is the big tour. I've been praying for a long time. My manager, boss lady, finally made it happen. And 24 cities, you know, Newark, New Jersey is the first one. We got Columbus, Cleveland, Detroit, Chicago, Baltimore, Philly, Greensboro, I can't wait for that. Charlotte, I can't wait for that. New Orleans, Atlanta, Orlando, Tampa, Miami, Houston, Dallas, Kansas City, St. Louis. So Nashville, DC, it's going to be crazy.
And so last question for you. Final score this weekend. What you going with?
A&T 50. 42 at A&T 42, something like that. I give Central. I give y'all 2 touchdowns, 14. I give y'all 2 for it.
We will see this weekend. We will see this weekend.
Oh man, don't worry about it. Make sure you do a post interview after the game so you keep that same energy.
We got you, man. Look, thank you for taking the time to talk to me today, man. Listen, I wish you the best of luck in your career, and look forward to seeing you this weekend as well, man.
Absolutely, man. HBCU love. You be good, dog.
Eagle Pride, man. Amplify.
All right.